This is Katrina. I am back this week. My voice is a little off, but I'm here nonetheless. Thank you, gentlemen, both for filling in last week.
Oh, last week was a lot of fun.
I know you guys probably have way more fun without me. I'm sure
No, never.
Yeah, we even had a men's-only club on the air with only men's talking about it.
I heard about it. It was pretty cool. I guess it was meant to be.
Goodness that Katrina is back.
Did you miss me, Pat?
I missed you so much. We need a referee.
Oh, boy. There was way too much testosterone in the studio last week, was there?
Boy, oh boy, those guys just get out of control. And then you brought in this guy that's an F-troop and talking about pirates. Oh, boy.
I know. I came in and there was beads everywhere and all kinds of stuff, and they're like, you missed the party.
We are in the height of parade season.
We are.
And flu season.
I don't have the flu, Leo. I do not. I promise you.
I'm just saying we're in the height of flu season. It's almost like they're throwing the flu and the beads off the floats in the past couple of weeks.
I told Leo and Adam before the show started, I said I was out of town on vacation, the last week after Christmas, over New Year's, and we were in the cold. So we were, skiing and just in general in the cold weather. And then I had a flight, which, those things carry so many germs, to San Diego.
It's a closed air system.
Yeah, followed by coming back, and I had missed my allergy shots for 3 weeks. So I think that's pretty much what sparked all of last week.
Yeah, but don't you need like warm air and pollen breezing around for the allergies to act up?
I know, but it's between the hot and the cold, sometimes that can jack your system up too. It does for me. Anyway.
Yeah, it's called the flu.
It's not the flu. I got tested for the flu. I don't have the flu.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, I did.
Adam?
I had bronchitis. I didn't have the flu.
Bronchitis can turn into pneumonia if you're not careful.
I know. It was almost pneumonia. So, in any case, I had to clear my whole calendar last week and make up for it this week, which has worked out great. I got to meet one of our listeners and help her prepare her home for sale, which will be going live in July. So that was really cool. I love meeting you guys. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the numbers this hour because we just got them yesterday. They were just published for December. We don't yet have our year-over-year numbers for 2019. When we get those in a week or so, we'll compare those over 2018. But let's go ahead and go through some of these. This is your favorite topic, Leo.
I know. I don't even have the sheets in front of me.
I know you love this. We've got to pass it down to make your eyes glaze over, Adam. But we are in a really, really, really strong housing market still.
But we said last year around this time, this year is going to be worse than the year before.
But what was the factor? We talked about this.
I know. We talked about this several months ago.
The rates dropped more than once, and that was a lot of thing. Plus, we're getting a lot of growth in Tampa. We are getting a lot of attention.
We are.
From many different places. We have some of those things, too, if we have a chance to talk about them. But when I look at the absorption rate, we talk about that a lot, which is the number of supply of homes we have. Like, how many months supply of homes do we have at this particular time over last year? And so December 2019 finished up with a 2.3 month supply of homes, where December 2018 was 2.9% supply of homes. Do you remember what that means, Adam? The absorption rate? The number of months supply of homes, do you remember? We talked about it before, but if you don't remember, that means your listeners probably don't remember.
Yeah, so remind me, what is it?
Okay.
Nice.
So the number of months supply of homes, kind of to sum it up, and I think an easy way to explain it, this is how I explain it to most of our customers, is basically a 2.3 months absorption rate or supply of homes means if no more homes came on the market and the current buyers that are in the market bought all the homes would be sold in 2.3 months. Simpler way to think about it, right? So we're a lot stronger being that it's already a 2-month supply of homes is tight. I mean, a balanced market is considered like 6 to 12 month supply of homes.
We haven't seen a balanced market here in
a long time.
When's the last time we've had a balanced market in this market? I mean, it'd be pre-crash. So
no, and you have to think also when we had a ton of inventory, and then we started flooding the market with properties. There was a small
2014.
Roughly, yeah. Somewhere they had a balanced market, but didn't take long to continue to get strong. A lot of cash still infused into the market.
Question for you while we're still on the absorption rate. What was, do you remember what it was when the market crashed? Like, what was, comparison purposes?
We had over a 15-month supply of homes. In one case, it was 24 months.
So we see a lot of extremes here then.
Very much so, yeah. So anything over 12
Florida.
months. I mean, that was almost everywhere, though, right? Some places that didn't have as much craziness, but like California, Phoenix, like a lot of those hot markets, same thing as Tampa. We just saw a ton of inventory. Anything over a year is considered a buyer's market, and we had a 2-year supply of homes at one point, which was just a crazy amount of inventory.
What is the motor belt still like that with over a year supply of inventory?
The motor belt? What do you mean the motor belt?
You know, Ohio, Michigan, the motor belt.
I mean, I don't know because I'm not familiar with those markets. So you might know the answer to that better than I.
I was just asking. You know real estate. I just know statistics.
I know agents all over. I can get you connected with there, and I can, we can certainly ask about any of those other markets. We're still seeing a ton of people move from the Northeast to Florida.
So how important is the census going to be coming up?
It'll be very interesting to see. I think these numbers are going to surprise a lot of people that live here. And you can tell that in the traffic, right? Like driving around. In the traffic, have you noticed how much heavier it is?
I'm always driving against traffic, so I don't really notice it.
It's still there.
I don't pay attention to the other side of the highway when I'm coming up here, and I don't pay attention to the other side of the highway when I'm going over the bridge at nice hours.
So going back to the absorption rate, cash is what cleaned up a lot of the mess that we had. People pulled money out of the stock market and in other places where they had cash, and they put it basically into the housing market because housing is always a good long-term investment. It just is. It's always going to go up in general with the basic supply and demand of economics. It's just going to go up. So the closed sales in cash were actually over 1,000 in 1 month in 4 counties. It was 1,080 homes sold in cash. Last December in 2018, it was only 832.
Wow.
1 month. And the number of closed sales actually went up quite a bit as well. So we were a little over 3,500 in December. And in December of 2019, we had 4,378 closed home sales. That's a lot.
Well, I would expect December to be a cash month because a lot of the mortgage places are shut down for half the month.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are. You try and do a transaction during the dead week.
You can do it, but it's, it's a skeleton crew for sure. This part is interesting. The median price jumped up 6.4%. So it was $235,000 in December of 2018. It's now $250,000.
I think that's a huge jump.
6.4%. And that's over 4 counties. So don't forget, this is all of Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hernando.
Is Hernando still the fastest growing county?
I think so. I mean, we can look at their numbers. We got them in here. The average sales price, we talked about median sale price, remember a minute ago, and Leo explains this better than anybody I've ever heard.
What, the difference between median and average?
Yep.
Okay, so average is if you took them all together, let's say you have 11 transactions. You took them all together, you divided by 11, that's your average. Median is you line the 11 transactions up, you grab the one in the center, and that's your median.
Is it? I thought you were also getting rid of the low and the high, aren't you?
On the average? No, median is you just grab the one in the middle. The reason why you do median is it disregards low and high because you're just literally grabbing that transaction in the middle.
Okay. So with that being said, our median was $250 and our average sales price was $307,189. So that's the average across the board.
Which means, and the reason why your average is typically higher than your median is when you have those really expensive homes. Let's say you sell 1 or 2 of those $8 million Bayshore homes, that's going to destroy your average.
Right.
Because there's a lot more homes that are outrageously overpriced than there are that are dirt cheap.
I mean, here's the thing. When you look at what you can buy for $250,000 or $307,000, right, which is your average, there's a pretty big difference in the house you're going to get, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, there, in terms of upgrades and that sort of stuff.
Or just area. I mean, seawalls and stuff like that.
But the average sales price was up 7.3%. So quite a bit of increase in volume there. The dollar volume was up as well, over 31%. More home sales. We sold $1.3 billion in real estate in the month of December, which you're saying is slow and all the banks are closed and nobody's around.
Actually, statistically, January is the slowest month of the year.
Yes, because that's your trickle from everything that happened in December.
Yeah, because there's no one was around in December to show houses.
That's not true. We are here. It's not true.
Well, you're here, but 80% of the industry takes off.
They do, but we know that. That's why we're here.
Even we did a pre-record during that time frame.
We did, in all fairness. But really, especially that week after Christmas, over Thanksgiving, and a little bit before.
Wait. After Christmas, over Thanksgiving?
I'm sorry.
That's a long week.
You're ready this morning. No.
Here's a 48-week break.
No. You know what I mean. Christmas, right before, and that week right after Christmas, going into New Year's. That's what
The dead week.
Yeah, it's really quiet. And it's not that, agents don't work, but even if you're calling people, they probably don't want to talk to you, right? They're not interested.
No one wants to talk to me.
All right, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. When we come back in just a few minutes, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of these details in our numbers from 2018 December and compared to 2019 December. And we'll talk about how to get your offer accepted if you're not paying cash. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here with Adam Talley and Katrina Madewell and the flu. All four of us are doing this awesome hour here of Tampa Home Talk. We are doing year-over-year review for 2019. A little talk about the gloom and doom of January, and we left off talking about the week between Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Do you have the flu? Is that why you keep saying that?
I don't have the flu.
Okay.
I would know if I had the flu.
Yeah, I think you would. So anyway, our off-air number, if you've got any questions about this, which, by the way, these stats are only for single-family homes. So if you live in a condo or anything else, these numbers are not going to apply to you. We do have the reports that would apply to you. And if you want to get the report for your county only or your zip code only, we can send that to you.
Really? I get one for my zip code?
We can,
I want one for my zip code.
I'll give it to you. Just call
33605. I'm going to text 33605 to 813-377-2775.
That's just confused our listeners.
I'm going to text 33605 to 813-377-2775.
What he meant to say is text your zip code.
No, I'm texting my zip code.
The information to 813-377-2775.
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, text it right now. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Like over the break, I'll get it to you, Leo.
Really?
We could talk about your zip
I'm
code.
going to take you up on that challenge.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, so you got to pardon me while I do 813
377
Go ahead. 2775. So I'm texting to 813-377-2775 33605.
You guys keep this hour entertaining. That's for sure. I have to give you that.
Sending sent. 8:20 a.m. Here we go. Let's see what comes back.
It'll ask for your email, just so you know.
It hasn't asked for anything.
It will. All right. So the median time to contract. This took an extra day.
It's pretty good.
Took an extra day to get sold, to get under contract. So from the time you list your property to the time you actually get a buyer that says, yes, I'll buy it, everybody agrees on the price, we went from 30 days to 31. And then the median time to sale was exactly the same at 72 days. And that's from the time you sign your listing contract and you're live. Well, not really for us, but from the time you're live on the market to the time you go to the closing table and sign your stuff. And then new pending sales was up 15%. So people are buying more, right? 4,300 homes compared to 3,500 homes. And so basically we had 3,322 pending home sales in December compared to 2,889 in 2018.
Wow. That's a huge jump.
I can't wait to see the numbers. Like for all of I got 2018 here, but all of 2019 compared to 2018. And then new listings was actually up as well. We had more listings. So even despite additional inventory, the demand continued, and it still continued to be up 22% in closed sales. But the new active inventory, meaning new homes that come on the market, we had 3,300 in December of last year, 3,480 this time. So it's up 5.5%. And then the pending inventory, just a little over 4,000 last year, 4,266. So up 5.3%. It's keeping pace with the number of properties that are being listed. And then the interesting thing, too, is we actually had more homes actively listed in December of 2018 than we did of 2019. Isn't that weird?
So more people are getting out?
Well, they're just not. They didn't sell it for what they thought they would, or they changed their mind or stayed or whatever it was. But 11,576 listed in December of 2018. This last year in 2019, December, was only 9,773.
So we sold more and had less inventory.
Sold more and had less. Yep. That's
we sold more with
correct.
less. That's why the number dropped to 2.7 to 2.3.
So Leo, I don't know if you saw the first page. So you were right. January was the lowest. Do you know what the highest month was for sales?
July?
I think it was May last year. It was like 5,000.
Well, this is cash. Hold on.
Yeah, it's going to be over the summer.
Year to
Yeah, it was May.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, May, June, and July is the busy season because everyone wants to get into the new school districts before the summer lets out.
It looks though like last year looks pretty stable though. Other than
February picks up.
Other than January, February, everything's over 4,000, which is impressive.
Yeah, January. That's that low number. December. That
I always have a slump in October.
Look at that December number, though.
Yeah, I don't.
4,378 in December 2019.
Yeah, no, December is busy. I just always have a slump in October, and it never shows here on the. It never shows here on these
So
numbers.
what are you doing differently in October?
Nothing.
I don't know.
We're doing the same marketing. We're doing the same. It's just October is our slowish month. Not our slowest month. January is our slowest month, but October is a slow month.
The interesting thing, too, just an FYI, and so when you look at these numbers in terms of closed sales, the hottest month to sell is July. And you think about what that time frame is, that means you're listing probably around May. You're ready to hit the market in May, which means you're actually prepping around now, January, February, March, to get ready to go live in May and sell in July. May was super hot too, 5,181.
That makes sense. That school just lets out.
It's also the beginning of, or when you think about that 5,000 number, that's also when snowbirds are leaving, right around that March time. So we see some people actually pick up a property before they go back to wherever in terms of a second home, and that would be reflected in the May number.
So actually, if I have these numbers and I know how many home inspections I do, I can actually calculate Barrel's market share.
Yes, you can. Yep. Why haven't you done it?
Because it's probably a depressingly small number.
I'll give these to you. Yes, but then you know what your target is, right? And this is a 4-county area, which I know you serve. But
yeah, I mean, I could calculate market share. That would be pretty neat.
you love the number, so you should be all over that.
My voice is all high-pitched now because of it.
I know you hear it. It's like almost talking like a girl.
You busting out the calculator on your phone?
Of course.
So, Adam, when you look at these, like, he's a numbers nerd, so I'm not going to ask him. But when you look at these, what's the most, like, impressive thing? What's the thing that sticks out the most to you? Like, what's the most exciting, even if you're not a numbers person? What part's pretty cool?
Well, I don't know. I think selling more with less inventory is, the most impressive thing on here. But 50,000 homes closed.
Isn't that a lot?
That's ridiculous.
We're not a small town anymore. It's so funny. I had this meeting yesterday with a client that I've had for probably 25 years. They were originally a mortgage client, and they actually are thinking about maybe selling and buying something new in the Pkwy area. They're in South Tampa now. And we had this whole conversation about how traffic is so different than it used to be. And like me, they grew up right here in Tampa. So they, remember how things used to be. And I looked at them and I said, unfortunately, Tampa just is not a small town anymore. It just isn't.
Yeah.
Zillow actually rated Tampa the number one market for first-time home buyers.
Really?
Yep.
Do you think just because there's so much new construction?
I don't know.
Wasn't Wesley Chapel like the number 3 market in the nation?
Yeah.
For
As a matter
all
of
buyers?
fact, I went to this whole meeting yesterday with the developer that owns the Grove, and they're planning this whole section there. I should grab my notes because there's a bunch of information in there, but they're putting like these container things in a couple different phases. And they are
I saw that. I read about that. Yeah, they're and I think they're trying to make it look a little bit like Sparkman Wharf. Where it has the little restaurants and that kind of stuff. I love it.
They're definitely bringing restaurants, and they're also bringing in a lot of entertainment. They're really interested in what the community thinks and what they feel and what kind of entertainment they want, and that's the stuff they're looking to bring.
Well, it'll be good. It'll stop people from wanting or needing to move to the city.
Oh, Pat's
What's up,
coming.
Pat?
We are.
Pushing everything like it's great to live off 52 and I-75 in San Antonio.
Can you believe that? That used to be so far away.
That used to be, you'd have to spend the night if you went there. It's a place to be. 54 is building up so much, there's probably not any room now. 52.
Pat, did you grew up here too, didn't you? When did you live here? Like as a kid, you grew up here?
I came from Pennsylvania in 1963.
So how old were you at that time?
I was right around 8 years old.
So you pretty much have grown up here. You've always lived here. What do you think about the growth, especially somebody that does traffic, right, for the Tampa Bay area? Like, what do you think about all this?
Complete insanity. There's no room left, and that's why, being a traffic guy, when I go home in the afternoon. I don't leave. I don't go because there's just too much. There's too much traffic.
Unless it's Florida's. He will do that. He can Uber there very
Isn't too
very
much
easily.
traffic job security, though, for you, Pat?
Great job security.
That and weather. If we ever not have traffic and not have weather, you might be out of a job.
Today we have traffic and bad weather with fog.
So I pulled up all this really cool stuff. You guys tell me what you want to talk about next. I got a couple tips on how to get your offer accepted if you're not paying cash, right? And you're competing against cash. And I was spending some time on the Hillsborough County Economic Development site, and they had all this really cool slideshare that they use to attract companies here.
Oh, that's pretty neat. I got a question, though.
This was incredible.
If I'm up against a cash buyer, other than offering more, because cash buyers can close quicker.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about a financing contingency. So how can you beat out a cash buyer?
I can tell you how, and I'm going to do that right after the break.
Well, I'm asking.
It's a loaded question. It's more than like a 30-second answer.
What if I text
813-377-2775.
how to beat out a cash buyer to that number?
You can.
I'm going to do that.
So you're not actually entirely correct, Leo, and most of the time you are. So we're going to talk about that when we come back right after the break.
Most of the time I'm entirely correct?
Most of the time you're pretty correct. Like, you're the trivia buff for sure.
I know, but this isn't trivia. This is strategy.
It's not, and we are going to talk about strategy. So 813-377-2775. We'll be back right after this break. And if you got any questions, call or text 813-377-2775. We're going to tell you how to compete if you want to buy a home in this market and you don't have cash. Back in just a minute. Welcome back.
I can't. We have some.
This is
praise. I'll take a look.
Tampahometalk, and a couple of exciting things to tell you guys. Pat, I'll let you break the news.
Nope.
I broke it accidentally, I was walking along to my house, and I told my wife, I said, wow. And sometimes I just call my wife Alexa for just silly reason. And I said, Alexa, I have to go to work at Money Talk 1010. And she said, okay, I'll play Money Talk 10. It popped up on my Alexa.
So your Alexa plays Money Talk 1010. That is so cool.
Alexa, and if you have Siri or Alexa on your listening device at home or your phone, you just say, play it, and Money Talk 1010 pops up with an unbelievably beautiful Siri.
Well, I have an Alexa in my office. I'm going to have to turn it on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to test that.
Well, that's in the other room, and we're in the studio, so,
Go in there and bring it in and plug it in. Let's test it on the air.
Don't you think we'll get some feedback?
Yeah, well, actually, we have a 7-second delay, don't we?
Yes.
No, we're not going to do that.
That's not feedback. That's a vicious echo.
Katrina says no. Pat should be saying no.
But Leo's saying yes.
I know you do. So why don't we give a shout out to your son that graduated paratrooper school yesterday?
Yeah, he's been in Columbus, Georgia, hating every bit of Columbus, Georgia. Said it's the ugliest place he's ever been. Sorry if there's anybody from Georgia out there close to Columbus. But he graduated. Yeah, he did 4 daytime jumps and a nighttime jump. Didn't break any legs, and he's got his wings on his chest now. And hopefully, this is the best part. Now that he's done that, he can take a little break, and he'll be here in the Tampa Bay area, back at my house around February 3rd.
So what's the percentage of those cadets that break legs?
Very small, probably less than half.
That's pretty large, Pat. Less than half the people in this program will break their leg.
Half of 1%.
Okay.
You said less than half.
You
at
said less
first.
than half. It's like, yeah, it's a small. It's less than half.
They train you very well. So.
I don't think the military wants to fix all those broken legs, okay? I really don't.
They want you out there running.
Exactly.
Crutches.
So going back to right after the break, we were talking about how do you compete
Right before the break.
before the break. Yes. We're now back after the break, and we're going to talk about the question that you asked before the break.
Oh, about the week
yeah.
between Christmas and Thanksgiving?
No, about if you're not paying cash.
Oh, yeah. So how do I beat out a cash buyer in a transaction besides offering more?
So sometimes you would think offering more will
It's
fix the
less.
problem, but actually it doesn't. Because you have to think right now we're at a 2.9 month or 2.3 month supply of homes. Yeah, because I'm looking 2018. That's not right. 2.3 month supply of homes. And what this means is when we go in to price a property, a lot of times there's always a range, right? Like your house is between this number and this number. Then we go in to see, okay, how fixed up is this home? What does it look like? What's updated? Are they going to be updating stuff? Are they selling it as is? Like, where are we in this scope of the range? And that's where we kind of pinpoint the price a little bit better than this range, which sometimes can be $100,000, right?
Right.
One of the properties I looked at yesterday, it's literally $100,000 difference. And so based on whatever they do or don't do determines what that price is going to be. So when a listing agent like me takes the listing, you have to think, we are pricing it really aggressively. With a 2.3 month supply of homes, we can get the upper end of that range, and we do because of the market that we're in. So with that being said, let's just compare for a moment and say we have a cash offer on the table and we have a financed offer, and we're in a multiple offer situation.
Why would I ever take the finance option?
Well, here's the thing. So your first instinct was, let's offer more, right, to see if we can get it. And sometimes the seller may be really encouraged, right, by that higher number and think, oh my gosh, wow, yeah. So then we have to really guide them through that process and explain, look, time is also money. And what we don't want you to do is get down the road with a financed offer and basically get a short appraisal, which will happen 2 to 3 weeks into the process. And now you have to start over because the buyer doesn't want to bring the difference and you don't want to reduce the price. Your cash offer could have actually been better at that point, right? So that's the thing you have to think about. So actually increasing the price is one of the last things that I feel like you should do in a multiple offer situation when you're financing versus paying cash.
Okay.
Now, some of the better things you can do, and to answer what you said earlier, is you said, you have a financing contingency, you can't pay cash. Well, that's not entirely correct. So even though you're not paying cash, if you work, for example, with somebody like Sarah Cricky at Summit Mortgage, she can actually get that loan pre-underwritten and ready to go to where all they need is a title, clear title on the property, and an appraisal that meets the guidelines. So theoretically speaking, and there have been times where we have actually made an offer without the financing contingency, only asking for an appraisal contingency. So now what this means is you've removed that layer, even though you're not paying cash. What you're saying to the seller is, I have no reservations about my financing. I'm so strong financially and everything is already done that I don't need a financing contingency. I can walk into a bank anywhere and get a loan.
So, okay, so you remove the financing contingency to compete against cash buyers.
That's one strategy, yep.
Okay. Well,
the other thing I recommend as well is shorten your inspection time. And this is where you guys come into play. And it's where I know sometimes we drive you crazy, but you have to think that's how we compete. That's how we can get an offer accepted.
yeah, I mean, that would also have a benefit in, like, instead of doing a 10-day, do a 5-day, so I know 5 days sooner whether or not I have a real deal on the table.
That's right. And you have to think the average inspection time, I mean, the default on the contract is 15 days, but I can tell you right now.
Everyone's due within 7 or less.
Yeah, if I see 15 days, we are shredding that up. There's no way we're taking it. The average is about 10, because you have to think basically that's your inspection time to do everything, right? So if you guys are doing a regular inspection, a 4.0 wind mitigation, if you're getting a termite inspection.
That's all at the same time.
But you also have to get any additional inspections in that time. So if you
Radon,
guys,
mold.
yeah, well, if you guys look at it and you say the roof looks like it's at the end of its life, technically you're not a roofing contractor. We've got to bring a roofing contractor in to give us an estimate on the cost of that roof, or give us their professional opinion on how much time that roof is going to have left.
Yeah.
We have to get all that done in that 10 days. And so it might sound like a long time, but really it isn't, because it's calendar days, right? And you guys are not inspecting on the weekends.
No, we're open on Saturday.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, our company basically is Tuesday to Saturday. I'm trying to just get rid of Mondays as one of the days that we work.
That is the busiest day, isn't it?
No, it's the worst day, because what ends up happening is all our cancellations come in on Sunday for Monday, so I end up with a bunch of people with nothing to do on Monday. So
Really?
I hedge that by saying, okay, we're a Tuesday to Saturday company.
Why don't you rotate your days? Rotate your people.
No, the amount of cancellations we had dropped by 50% once I got rid of Mondays.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one of the things that we look at. And so to be competitive against a cash offer, you could have to go to 7 days or less, right? What if you say, I'm going to get my inspection done in 5?
Nice.
Or 3,
Oh,
right?
no, not 3.
I know.
5.
I know you don't like 3. But
Because, most of the time, buyers wait till like days 5 or 6 and like, oh, I show up, well, you get the inspection.
No, we don't let them do that.
No, you don't, but a lot of buyers do.
Maybe. We don't do that.
I have a 10-day period. Cool. It started 6 days ago. Oh.
So, I mean, there's times too that we are working with relocation customers. And so we'll call you guys and we'll say, hey, we're with this client for 2 days. We're getting something under contract. We need inspection on day 3. Remember, we do that.
Yeah, but
you'll do it for me, not everybody.
I want to do it for you.
Because you know that we will have a deal under contract and we will be inspecting something.
Yes.
Even though we don't know where we're going at that time.
Yes. Yeah.
So those are some of the things you can do. You just want to tighten that contract up and make it as strong as possible before you get into that deal, because that's really what's going to encourage the seller to take it. So price is a factor, but it's not the only factor. And I would say sometimes if you've already made a really competitive offer, it's the last factor.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Well, if
does it make sense?
Made a competitive offer. Yeah. I like the removing, because I'm like in that situation with my commercial building. Mm-hmm. I'm already approved for the commercial building. I just have to find the building. Once I find the building, I just get an appraisal. Once the appraisal comes back, we can close. So I can close like lightning fast.
So technically, you could make an offer without a financing contingency. Just ask for the appraisal contingency.
Yeah. But we still have the inspection contingency.
And on commercial, I think you have a little bit more room, which I know you want your inspection contingency, but there's again, it's a quick process. I would say do it in less than a week if you can. And that'll keep you super competitive.
Nice.
So that's how we compete in a market where there's a ton of cash. And, last month in December, there was almost 30% more cash in the market.
That makes sense. Everyone wants to close right before they get to a new calendar year. And actually, that all makes sense.
So Adam dipped out on us already because
he
took his wife's keys and she couldn't get away.
That's pretty funny.
That was really funny.
I was just saying,
she was blowing him up.
Do keyless, unless he took his car keys.
I think he has her car keys.
Because if it's just house keys, just get a keyless entry.
No, I think it's car keys.
I love my keyless entry.
She didn't go anywhere. Do you swipe your wife's car keys? She'd be freaking out, blowing you up too.
She leaves before I do.
Okay. Well, if she took your keys, you'd be calling her.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I have two keys.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 2 keys just in case something stupid like that happens. It's important to have backup keys.
It is. Yeah,
where's the spares?
So I have to tell you, I was looking through this whole SlideShare presentation that the Hillsborough County Economic Development uses to attract companies here. Mm-hmm. And they've cited a lot of different places and companies and websites. For example, Zillow was ranked #1 place for home buyers. Tampa was. And
Zillow is ranked #1?
Zillow ranked Tampa one of the #1
that
places.
I like. Yeah. Zillow being ranked #1.
I need to have some more coffee and I'll get it out right. They cited a lot of stuff from Wallet Hub. So Wallet Hub did a lot of different.
What's Wallet Hub?
I don't know.
Is that
I
where I
haven't been
store
on
my
their
Bitcoin?
site. I haven't been on it. No, I don't think it's Bitcoin, anything related. But Florida has the 7th lowest tax rate in the country.
I believe it.
That's one of the reasons
we have
why
the highest impact fees for new construction, though, in the country. That's where they get their money.
But we have amazing weather, which we have to build for, which the impact fees are, that's part of it.
Yeah, speaking of amazing weather, did you guys, and I know Pat heard about this, the National Weather Service issued an iguana warning down in Miami.
Oh, they were so
what?
They were dropping from trees.
Yeah, it was biblical. What was that? Is that the 5th or the 6th plague, Pat?
It's at least a handful, so I would say at least the 5th. But the funny part about some guy who wasn't paying attention, he didn't know that they were sleeping. And this is a true story. He went by in his car and started picking them all up along the road. And he was going to sell them.
As meat, and they woke up.
Started getting warm in the vehicle. They woke up, and he crashed.
Are you kidding me?
Dead serious. No, that's a true story. The National Weather Service issuing the warning, the guy that had a bunch of sleeping iguanas in their car, because it was like, these iguanas are not dead, they are sleeping. That was in the warning.
That is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Iguanas picking at the trees.
Yeah, and actually, the iguana meat is actually really tasty, so they were collecting them and killing them for meat down in Miami.
Okay. Yeah, that's a different country down there.
Did I sabotage the end segment here? And if you're interested more in about iguanas, text the word iguana to 813-377-2775.
Do not
That's 813-377-2775. If you text the word iguana or send us an emoji of an iguana, we will give you a recipe in return.
No, Leah will give you a recipe. Katrina will not give you a recipe.
We'll give you a recipe. Just text the word iguana. We'll be right back after the break. Well, good morning. Welcome back. Leo Kane here with a full house. We've got our guests in a little bit early for the 9 o'clock hour, but they don't have any volume, so we're not going to introduce them yet. I'm here with Katrina Madewell.
You're so silly.
Why, thank you. What is our 9 o'clock hour going to be about?
So 9 o'clock hour, we're going to talk a little bit about what are some other things going on around Tampa other than Gasparilla this weekend, right? Because there's another parade yet.
There's the day parade.
Pat, I don't know about you, but I still think it is so strange that we have 3 Gasparilla parades.
No, we only have...
Well, it's a whole month long now, or maybe longer, a month and a half. Art festival, we have a run, we have a music festival.
Oh, yeah, the night... Wait, we only have 2 parades.
No, we have a kids parade.
We have 3.
Parade and a night parade.
The night parade is actually not Gasparilla. It's put on by the Santiago Night Crew.
Oh, but it doesn't happen to be involved in Gasparilla.
It's still Gasparilla.
It's not a Gasparilla thing. We learned that last week, Pat.
There used to be one parade
On a Monday.
for Gasparilla.
On a Monday.
Oh, you guys know that.
3 parades in the celebration for Gasparilla. Let me say that.
Right, but when you were younger and when I were younger, there was one parade. Do you remember that?
Might as well just roll. And we learned that Gasparilla is the 3rd largest parade in the United States.
Behind which others? Macy's Day Parade?
Yes, Macy's and...
What else?
Rose Bowl Parade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't watch the Macy's parade, but I do watch the Westminster Dog Show afterwards.
I don't watch the Rose Parade because all those floats are made with flowers. And it's just
My allergies.
They don't do well for you?
My
the
allergies that pick up in the height of flu season.
Oh, stop. Here we go again. All right, so let me go over a couple of our things that we have about Tampa, which I think is just incredible. If you have any questions that you want to chat with us about or you just want to ask in general, real estate related, we will take your call. Our studio calling lines are 888-404-1010.
What was that?
888-404-1010. Don't forget you can listen on your Alexa. Just tell her to turn on Money Talk 1010.
Alexa, order 10,000 pounds of dog food. Confirm.
Yeah, no,
Confirm.
let's not do that. But Money Talk 1010, 888-404-1010. If you got a question, we'll gladly answer it. Let me go over a couple of these really cool things that were cited in Wallet Hub. Other than Florida has the 7th lowest tax rates in the country.
That's because we have we get our money from property taxes.
We do, but that's okay. And our taxes are way lower than other places. So when you look at our numbers compared to New York, it's really affordable.
Well, yeah, property tax in New York, we have 4,000 square foot houses that have the same property tax as a 1-bedroom condo.
Or less, or a studio, right?
Yeah.
Tampa was also ranked as one of the top 10 cities for veterans.
Nice.
Got quite a few of the veteran hospitals local here.
And the military discounts are everywhere.
Yes, they are. Tampa was also among the top 10 cities for military veterans, period. So a lot of people
What's the difference
come back to
between
Tampa.
veterans and military veterans?
So veterans are, this is like a lot of times retired. Your military, I think when I look at this is someone maybe that was stationed here and someone that actually either comes back or stays in Tampa. That's what I think.
Okay.
And it was also rated one of the hardest working cities in America. 6th best
I'm gonna
city.
have to laugh on that one.
6th best city for staycations. That's not a laughable thing.
No, staycation.
actual.
Staycation's awesome.
We're number 5 best city in the country for recreation. I believe that.
Yeah.
There was also one that said we were one of the top 20 healthiest cities in America. And then we were also rated the most livable city in America.
And the best part about this graphic for the most livable city in America, for those on the YouTube, make sure you smash and subscribe. For those on the Facebook, make sure you give us a like. But the funniest part about this is Adam's apartment is in the photo.
I know, right? It's like right there. He's like, oh, yeah, I live right there.
Yeah.
This is according to the United States Conference of Mayors.
Right here, in case you're looking to stalk. Right here. This is where Adam lives.
Oh.
This is where Adam's driving back to because he took his wife skis, everybody. Remember, YouTube, hit the smash and subscribe. Facebook, make sure you like.
So how are you guys doing right now, Leo, in terms of like, it's January, right? Towards the end of January. How are your numbers for you guys personally this year over last year? Are you as busy as you were last year? Are you busier?
It's tough. We grow by 20 to 30% in manpower or woman power. In
Do you have any female inspectors?
No female inspectors yet. Not that we wouldn't hire a female inspector. We've never had one apply. I take that back. We had one apply when we weren't hiring at all, and then she had a job when we were considering.
I was just curious about that.
Yeah,
like if you had any.
We'd like a female inspector, but we actually don't go out looking for inspectors based on race or sex or any of that.
Qualifications. It always has to be about the qualifications first. But I was just curious.
Yeah, okay, so basically our numbers this year are stronger than last year just because we have more people and they're all busy.
And what kind of stuff are you guys doing? Because you're always got your hand in a couple other things besides residential inspection. So what's new for you guys over this time last year?
We're still doing a lot more litigation inspections. Our litigation division, due to Nestor and Dorian and all those other storms, is taken off, helping people with their insurance claims, deciding whether or not it was or wasn't actually storm damage or hail damage. Other things, builders who are building houses too fast, skipping a lot of steps. We're helping homeowners figure out if those homes were really built poorly and how much the builder needs to chip in to fix.
We had one where the specs, like here. Here's
we have a caller.
Yeah, here's an example of something. Real quick. They had 3-tab. They were in their specs that they were supposed to be building by. They were supposed to have 3-tab shingles, and they actually only had 2-tab shingles.
There are no such thing as 2-tab shingles.
What was it called? What's the actual name for it?
There's architectural shingles.
Not the layered 3-dimensional shingles. The other ones.
3-tab shingles. There's architectural, dimensional, and there is 3-tab.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me, engineer. But yes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
okay.
Now I do.
All right, so let's take our caller. Welcome, Barry. How can we help you?
Hey, quick question for you. What's the demographic moving into Florida? Is it still a retiree state, or is it shifted?
We have very much shifted. We are, as a matter of fact, there was something in here. Let me find it real quick. It was talking about with millennials. One of them was, we're the hippiest city in the world in 2018, according to Business Insider. That part I thought was pretty cool. We're also one of the fastest growing cities.
In the tech sector. We have like Ybor City is a tech center hub now. And so they've gone through a great length to attract millennials and Gen Zers.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lower demographic, especially closer to the downtown market, I would say.
Oh, definitely. That's a great question, though.
Florida forever was always known as like the retirement place, right? It's where people would go to retire.
Yeah, it used to be people came to Tampa to retire, and then we sent our parents to Sarasota.
It's a great question, though, Barry.
Yeah.
I will see if I can dive into a little bit more of the demographics for you, and we'll have that available on next week's show. I'm sure we can get that. That's where the census data will be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really curious about the census. It's a very important tool in helping Florida overtake
this year?
New York.
When's the next census due? This year?
It's this year. Yeah, it's very important. Make sure that, and this is me getting political, make sure that you participate in your census. It's very, very important.
You're required to.
You're required to, but some people don't. But your governmental funding is based on that census. So new roads, new infrastructure. If there's too much traffic on the road, it's because people didn't fill out their census.
All right, Leo, we're out of time this hour. Remember, love where you live, or we're going to fix it. We'll be back in hour number 2 in just a minute with Wendy Harding. We're going to tell you about some stuff going on this weekend. Stick around. We'll be back in just a minute.